All right, so this is going to be a reading for Sagittarius. And for the Sagittarius that I'm reading for today, I'm seeing that you are going through a very spiritual process within yourself that requires you to be fully in alignment sort of with yourself and with the path that you're on. And so Spirit has some direct messages of guidance for you today, and that's what this reading is going to be about. Now, before I dive into the reading, I just want to say thank you so much for being here and for receiving this reading. If you would like a personal reading, I do offer them on my website, ajstarot.com. And if this reading resonates with you, please like and subscribe, as that helps me out a lot. So, Sagittarius, your overall energy for the reading is the Four of Swords. So this is a reminder from Spirit to allow yourself to rest and not push too much against the current of your life, to really go with the flow. And in order to go with the flow, we have to be relaxed, and we also have to be mentally and emotionally open. And so that requires kind of quieting the mind, quieting the soul, and opening up. And when I clarified the Four of Swords, I got the Nine of Wands, the Five of Cups, and the Two of Pentacles in the reverse. So that's that energy of really struggling. Is this going to happen, or is that going to happen? Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I lean into this energy or lean into that energy? It's interesting that we have the Two of Pentacles in the reverse, because one of your oracle cards is fragmentation in the reverse. And so typically that fragmentation card in the upright would be exactly that, that the different sides of who you are fragmented, or that you could feel kind of split down the middle. Now your other oracle cards, we have abundance, fragmentation in the reverse, and then the creator. So Spirit is asking you to bridge your own creative force, your own life force energy, with the abundance that is outside of you, and connect to what's outside of you by connecting to what's inside of you. And so bridging the internal and the external into one harmonized sort of frequency. And the reason why I brought up that fragmentation in reverse card is because that Two of Pentacles in reverse represents the same energy of juggling different extremes to the extent that it becomes stressful and disorienting and chaotic. And there might be times where you do get really in your head, or you get really worried about things, Nine of Wands, Five of Cups, and you become separated from yourself, from your own life force within you, and then also from the abundance around you. And so Spirit's really asking you to step into harmony and alignment with what's going on outside of yourself by being in connection with and balance internally. And so let's take a deeper look at the rest of the reading. In the recent past, we have the Hierophant, the High Priestess, and the Devil. So that's a very big spiritual energy here with the Hierophant and the High Priestess and the Devil. And it really represents you learning a spiritual lesson and bridging, again, these two different sides of yourself, sort of the higher self and the intuitive self, stepping into your highest self, versus the devil, which are, the unhealthy things in life, the toxicities, the attachments that may at times keep us stuck or tied to different patterns. And Spirit's saying with the Hierophant here, there's some type of spiritual lesson for you to learn by navigating through both parts of yourself, the higher self and what we might call the shadow side with the devil. In the current energy, the King of Swords, the Three of Pentacles, the Six of Cups, that's you actively learning that spiritual lesson. You may have help from some type of energy outside of you. That could be an ancestor, a guide. It could also be someone in your life, like a mentor or a friend that helps you through, that helps you make sense of some of these things. But I'm seeing this more as an energetic connection rather than a physical one, and it helps you sort of bring that energy into the physical with the Three of Pentacles. In the near future, we have the Seven of Wands, the Hanged Man, and the Page of Pentacles. So Spirit here is showing us that the next step in your journey, the next lesson that you have to learn, is one that you will learn by staying still. And so there might be blockages that come up in your path that sort of delay you from moving forward, so that it can force you to stay still and stay in suspension and learn this lesson. And for many of you, it might feel really uncomfortable. It might feel like you're hitting roadblocks, but I'm actually seeing that that is sort of a coordinated effort by the universe in order to get you to slow down and find that harmony, find that balance within yourself, and learn that lesson with the Page of Pentacles. So really interesting reading that we have here for you today, and I'm excited to dive into it. Let's start by looking at the Devil in the recent past, and we'll take a look at that shadow side. With the Devil, we have the Knight of Wands, the Chariot, and the Four of Cups. So in this instance, Spirit is showing me that your downfall is sort of rushing the process. And by the process, I mean the natural pace of your life. The Chariot is sort of fate, your life path, the river of time, destiny, all of that. And with the Knight of Wands and the Four of Cups, you're showing me, let's just do it. Let's get it all done. I want to live life to the fullest. I want to experience everything. Right now, what's the holdup? And at times, if things don't move as quickly or as seamlessly as you want them to or as you expect them to, you get upset with that Four of Cups. There's a feeling of, I can handle this all by myself with the Nine of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So what's the wait? Why am I waiting here? And it becomes upsetting for you that things aren't quite moving at your pace. But then your higher self comes in and also has something to say here. Let's take a look at the High Priestess. For the High Priestess, we have the Eight of Cups, the King of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles. Your higher self then comes in and tells you, we don't have to worry about accomplishing everything right now, about achieving any results. In the Eight of Cups card, I'm really being drawn to the Moon and the Sun, which are very much in harmony in that card. And this person is sort of following their path and leaving behind what they don't need. And they're in harmony with their masculine and their feminine, their sun and their moon, their day and their night. And so your higher self says, I know who I am. I know that I'm on my path. I know that I have everything that I need, and I don't need anything else. So I don't need to worry about, being the richest man in the world. I don't need to worry about when is my next thing coming in, because I'm on my path, and that's enough for me. And so you're showing me that both things exist within you at the same time, this higher level knowledge of I'm right where I'm supposed to be, and then also at times that shadow self that's sort of screaming, I want more and I want it now. Which is sort of just the human experience, right? Let's take a look at the Hierophant for the spiritual lesson that you're learning here. Could be something about self-love with the Queen of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups as I'm shuffling. And something about total self-acceptance. Totally accepting yourself for who you are right now. For the Hierophant, we have the Page of Cups in reverse, the Four of Wands, the Two of Cups. There's a lesson that you're learning through your relationships with other people. And it's about finding love within yourself and finding stability within yourself through your relationships. And so for some of you, that might mean that you're finding out how to love yourself and feel stable no matter what's going on in your relationships, and how to kind of hold your center through it all. And then for others of you, you're actually finding yourself through connecting to other people experiencing the parts of yourself that come out in relationship and having that experience of a mirror through another person. And some of you might have many prominent relationships throughout your life, many prominent partnerships or friendships that kind of bring with them these spiritual lessons. And others of you might feel kind of isolated from time to time, and it's because you're processing what it is you're learning in those connections. We also have the Lovers at the bottom of the deck, which is about that, the divinity of the soul, and finding oneself through the soul connection. Let's take a look at the current energy. We have the King of Swords, the Three of Pentacles, and the Six of Cups. You're learning how to bring something into fruition in the material world. With the Three of Pentacles, you're building something. And then you also have this very active sort of spiritual and emotional life with the Six of Cups. And all of it comes together to create a lesson for you. Speaking of spiritual connections, you might hear my partner cooking in the background. They're making tacos. Alright, let's look at the Six of Cups. We have the Moon card, the Queen of Cups, the Page of Pentacles. There's a very loving connection that sort of exists on the energetic level. And it teaches you something with the Page of Pentacles on a very deep level that you're able to sort of, or you're meant to sort of bring up from the depths into something tangible. Let's look at that with the Three of Pentacles. You might be figuring that out now. Like, that could be what you're starting to understand in your journey at this time, is like what all of this means, like all of this love and this exchange of energy. What does it mean, and how can you bring it into your real material worlds? For the Three of Pentacles, we have the Hanged Man, the Nine of Wands, and the King of Swords. This is where things get a bit tricky for you in terms of aligning the inner and the outer, and aligning the energetic with the physical. When it comes to actually manifesting this in the physical realm, so maybe like writing a book or creating a project, or I don't know, making a speech, making a painting, working on something with your hands, whatever it is that turns this lesson from a spiritual lesson into a physical manifestation. You're showing me that you're hitting that blockage with the Nine of Wands, and you're showing me I know that I'm hitting a blockage, and it comes again from your inability to sit fully still. And when we sit still, we become open channels, we become an open space for spirit to kind of work through us. And oftentimes I think we think that we're sitting still, but we're actually on our phone, or we're actually anxious about something, or then our friend calls us and we're talking to our friend. And Spirit's asking you not just to let yourself be still, but to let yourself be still for as long as you need to allow all of this to kind of germinate within you and become whatever it needs to become. And with the Page of Wands at the bottom of the deck, that might be something that's very new for you. It might be new for you to not just slow down, but to like really let yourself have the space to do that. Let's take a look at the King of Swords, the Fool, the Empress, the Four of Cups. Whatever it is that you are kind of meant to do here, or meant to learn, meant to understand, it will only come through once you fully allow yourself to kind of do whatever the fuck you want. And there's a part of you that's like uncomfortable with that, like uncomfortable with letting yourself just do whatever you want in a way. Like, it's almost easier for you to do the practical thing, to do the practical next step. And it's not just doing whatever you want, it's like doing the thing that you most want to do, and that would feel truest to who you are, that would be, very self-loving and come from this place of self-love and prioritizing you. But you have to just go for it and just do it and like let yourself explore that. And you're like, nope, that is uncomfortable. That doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't think I can really do that, so I'm just not going to. I'd rather do sort of the practical thing. I want to see what else we can get out of that Empress card. The World, the Emperor, the Temperance card. Again, we have the two sides of you, the Emperor and the Empress. The Emperor is a part of you that wants control and sort of power, security, the knowledge that you're doing everything right, the knowledge that you have everything handled. And Spirit's asking you to quiet that part of yourself and sort of let your hair down and like explore and experience and get excited and take risks. And, it would still be from a place of maturity, abundance, all that good stuff, but you would be releasing your need for like control and understanding. And that's very difficult for you to really, really do. And so I see in the near future with that Seven of Wands, the Hanged Man, and the Page of Pentacles, eventually Spirit's going to put some type of roadblock in your way where you're not going to be able to continue down that path of practicalities and responsibilities, because it's time for you to really, really deeply pause and see what comes out of that pause. Let's take a look at the Seven of Wands. The Judgment card, the Nine of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles. Yeah, when it comes to, I don't know, the next step in your career or making more money or, I don't know, renovating your house, whatever that next thing is, it's going to become harder and harder with the Ten of Wands at the bottom of the deck until you realize, I don't think that is the path that I'm supposed to be going down right now. I think there's something that I'm supposed to be doing in this pause, which is an interesting way to think about a pause, because in a pause you don't typically think, let me do something, and I don't mean do something in the typical sense, like actively make something happen, but it's more about what arises in the silence. And there's something very important that's kind of percolating there. And it wants to make itself known. And it comes through as like, it'll be a little seedling, then you'll water that seedling, and then it'll grow into some type of manifestation. And it's interesting because in the Hanged Man, this figure's head is lit up. And then the next card we have is the Page of Pentacles, which is sort of this glowing medallion. And so it's sort of like by going upside down, you open your third eye, you open your consciousness, you have some type of realization, some type of higher experience, and then out of that comes this seed, this pentacle, that you begin to water. Let's take a look at the Hanged Man. The Hermit, the King of Wands, and the Three of Wands. It's almost like you receive some type of answer, but you go upside down, you sort of go into this cocoon of healing, And it's from there that you have like this bird's eye view, this out of body kind of experience where you're looking down on yourself and your life and you're able to see something that you weren't able to see before. And it's like right from there, it's not even a knowledge, it's like a feeling of like, this is who I am, this is what I'm aligned with. And your energy kind of naturally takes off in that direction with the King of Wands. But again, this is a very personal sort of experience to you that might even be hard to put into words or to like quantify. It's more something that's meant to be felt by you and for you. Let's take a look at the Page of Pentacles, Two of Swords, Seven of Cups, the Chariot. At times you're going to feel like really confused about what do I do next, which way do I go in like your material world, your tangible life. You might feel kind of directionless at times or confused, but you're not directionless. It's almost like you're calibrating. Your system is recalibrating, and once it calibrates, it's like boom, it's right there. This is who you are, this is your next step, it's all there. And with the Strength card at the bottom of the deck, Spirit again is warning you to hold back from making any sudden movements so that you can allow time for the calibration process. Let's get 3 cards of advice from the universe and then we'll close out the reading. The Magician, the Four of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands. You're going to manifest something very powerful by staying still and focusing. And it's almost like from that, this will blossom naturally. But again, it requires like a total pause of like everything that you have going on in the material world. I don't know how else to describe it. It either resonates or it doesn't, and that's okay. But yeah, I hope this helps, and I'll see you next time.